In our Lenten Devotional for today, we are invited to take a look at the last of the commandments. The eighth commandment in Luther's Small Catechism is, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor." The ninth and 10th commandments have to do with coveting your neighbor's home, their goods, or for that matter, your neighbor's family. One of the points that Luther emphasizes in all his reflections upon the commandments is the importance of not merely focusing on the things we're not supposed to do, but also what it is we are called to do. In the last commandments, the point is made clear that we are to help care for our neighbor's good name and our neighbor's possessions as well. That sounds easy, but in our competitive world, sometimes we have a tendency to want to be more interested in caring for our own interests, our own things, and with an attitude almost of letting our neighbors fend for themselves. But in the context of these commandments, it is clear that as the children of God, we are to be concerned with the needs of our neighbors and their well-being. I read an article some time ago, actually it was a television news report about a grocery store in the Washington, D.C. area. An individual was attacked outside of the store and knocked unconscious where he lay on the sidewalk. Security cameras showed that he lay unconscious just outside the doors of this grocery store, and customers literally had to step over and around his body. In fact, one scene showed a van pulling up and a customer loading groceries into the van all the time, having to work around the body lying there. It was 20 minutes before one of the employees of the store noticed his body outside and called 911, which responded within a few minutes. The sad part of the story is, though, that the man indeed died of his injuries, in part because no one wanted to step outside of their comfort zone and take care of him. A television station interviewed the neighbors of that area, and many of them talked about the fact that this sort of thing happened all the time and they just couldn't get involved. They were fearful, they were scared, and they were too busy worrying about themselves. In their minds, perhaps, for very good reason. Yet, the image is forever there of a man desperately in need of someone to help, and everyone ignored him. The mission statement of Grace Lutheran Church here in Westminster declares that we are a people dedicated to building relationships with God and one another. And the building up of relationships means that we are to strive to pay attention to the needs and concerns of others, and to seek God's healing love for all the world and for all people. Since the days of the terrible tragedy of 9/11, we have focused a lot in our society about people who are first responders and how they're defined as those who rush toward trouble when trouble arrives while everyone else is running away. I think it would be I think it's a wonderful and fitting description for them, and I would hope that as Christians we would be seen as those, when we see the needs of others, we do not look away, but instead look directly to how we can make a difference, rather than fearing for our own safekeeping and worldly goods. In this Lenten season, may we strive to care for our neighbor and their goods. May we rise quickly to defend the good names of others and not allow this world to simply be a place of destruction. God grant me the courage to look with new eyes, that we can see the needs of our neighbors and respond in ways that build up rather than tear down.